so be careful. As you can see, even when it's blocked, she still goes through the animation. And then you have her Harrier 4, which is actually only minus 12. You won't typically use this versus a standing opponent. This will mostly be for like ending a combo. So yeah, those are her Harrier moves. She also has her Harrier up 4-3, which if you saw from before is the same as her forward 4-3. So it definitely has juices, especially against somebody who feels like they know Katarina pretty well. Usually when they see you go into the air, they're expecting a low, so it'll be nice to be able to like mess with them. I've done it a few times against some advanced players, and I actually fought a Juggernaut, and I ended up doing that specific move out of Harrier, and I actually won a fight doing that. So that's definitely something. So now we've gone over her main pokes and key moves. We've also gone over her moves to get into her stances. So now we're gonna do her counter launchers. So let's do that real quick. So she doesn't have a lot. Let's see. I was kind of hesitant on even doing this, but I actually thought it might be useful. Let's see. Alright, so you have her down forward 4. I swear I'm missing one. I guess not. Yeah, so you have her down forward 4, which is a counter launcher. You have her down 2, which is also her counter launcher. You have her back 4, which is a counter launcher. And I guess that's it as far as the counter launchers. So she doesn't have very many. She only has the 3. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into her actual launchers real quick. Which her first one is gonna be your 114. This is probably the one I wouldn't recommend because it's minus 17 on block. However, it does have its uses. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it doesn't. I've actually managed to pull this off a few times, such as I've done 1-1-2 string a lot, so when they see me do this string they think to duck. So, and a lot of people don't think about actually getting 3 hits in, so I've actually been able to trick people into eventually ducking when they see this, and then I just switch it to 4 and I end up getting the launch. So this is a very situational move, so be very, very careful using it. Oh, I did forget one. So her another counter hit launcher obviously is her 4. This is very hard to use as a juggle because when she uses her 4, it sends them a little bit further back than your typical magic 4s. However, you can just hit 4 2 more times and you can get a pretty nifty combo out of it. So that was a counter hit launcher. I apologize, I skipped that again. I apologize, I'm absent-minded sometimes. Let's see. So her other launcher is going to be your back 2. And again, this is just like before. You want to be careful because it is minus 12 on block. Should be careful using it. You have her up forward 3. which is actually only -11, so it's not too punishable. You might get jabbed, but if that's the worst case scenario, that makes that particular launcher one of the safer launchers. And even though it isn't considered to be a launcher, you also have your up forward 4-4. I mean, I use it a lot. It's not considered a launcher. I do. So, and we're going by how I feel, not according to data. And then you have your wall standing 2. And that's it for her launchers. So we've gone over her stances. Went over her stance, ways to get into her stance, her moves from her stance, her pokes, her key moves, her counter hit launchers, and her launchers. So now all we have to do is go over a couple moves. Oh, her rage drive is 1+2 coming out of Harrier. Holy shit. So it's gonna be forward 4 and then 1+2. And be very cautious. And I believe that's only, it's not, that's actually +5 on block. So you can get hand, that's puts you in a much safer predicament than most of her moves. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and get into our launches. So or combos. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one counter hit launcher and do a combo from that. One launcher with no counter, and then I'm gonna do combos both with a counter hit launcher and a regular launcher that end with her rage drive, and then again one counter hit launcher and then one without a counter hit to do her rage art. So let's go ahead and take this rage off, and let's go ahead and just get into her regular no counter decent combo. My bad. Alright, so, and most of my combos end that way. You guys are more than welcome to try to do your own thing. She also has other stuff like something like that if you want to do it. I just like my way better. So if you want to do other things, feel free to do it. I was going with my thing. So the way that ended up working was it was up forward 4, which was my main launcher. Then you have your forward 4, which I use as my screw attack. So far, you should have that. Just gets you good 38 damage. It's pretty. I like it. And it keeps it short and sweet. I've always had difficulty showing how it works out, but you'll actually find that a lot of the time doing a combo with less moves gets you a lot more damage than doing more moves. And a good example would be to go check out Paul Phoenix. He actually has a really good 5-hit combo that does like 60-70 damage easily with no counter. But if you try to add more to it, it actually takes less damage total. And I'm not going to get into it right now. I'll get into him later on if somebody asks. Let's see. So, alright, so we had our up forward 4, and then her 4. And then what I did next was her down 2, forward 1. This goes from her down 2 into her Harrier stance, and then 1. Then you have her back 1 forward, which puts her back into her Harrier stance, and then 4. So all together you have a fair combo. It's just 62 damage. Alright, so Now we'll do a combo with her Rage Drive. Let's go with down back 4. So it's fair damage. Nothing fancy schmancy there. All that was is so you had your down back 4. Fair damage, does 26. Keep in mind this is fairly seeable, so you want to be careful using this, especially in the heat of the moment when somebody's starting to pay attention a lot more. But you have her down back 4. Then you have her down forward 2-4, which gives you so far that. And you have to do a little dash, nothing major. You have plenty of time to get up there. You don't want to take too much time like I just did, but you can take your time with it a little bit. You don't have to rush. And then just like before, with the down 2 forward 1 and the back 1 forward 4, but instead of hitting 4 at the end, you hit 1 plus 2. So it'll look a lot like this. And so the whole combo, again, after you practice a few times, you should easily be able to get yes. Boom. Alright, and so we have her last combo without a counter. And this is going to be to use her Rage Art. And I'll do this real quick. Now I know that might look a little confusing. However, it's actually, or it looks like it might be a little hard. It's actually It's actually fairly easy. The only hard part is making sure you get enough distance between the last hit and your Rage Art, because it is fairly easy to hit forward and then not get far enough. As you can see, it's easy to miss. So you want to be really careful using this combo. It's really not that hard though. You really just want to like make sure you get up there. This might be something you want to try to do every few, a few times. The way I do it is, especially when I'm newer with a certain person, what I tend to do more times than not is I'll try to do a combo in practice mode, and if I can't do it more than 3 times in a row without messing up, or if I can do it 3 times in a row without messing up, then I'll usually go into like treasure battle or something, and I'll try it there to get a little bit of like on-hand experience with moving opponents. And treasure battle is pretty good to like get started, and then eventually, like when you get comfortable with it, then you try to take it into online fights. So that's something to keep in mind. So another thing. So the way you do that is just up 4-3 as your launcher. Nothing major, and then you want to start pretty much just mash 4-4-4. My bad. And then you're gonna do 2-2. So far you'll have, and that's gonna be your launcher. And you just want to do a big dash this time. Like you're really only hitting forward twice, but you want to like kind of hold that second forward a little, just for like a little longer than you normally would. So, because if you only tap it, you aren't gonna make the distance that you need. Oh crap! I'm too used to this. You aren't gonna make the distance that you need to make. So you got to be really careful. You just want to hold that forward a little longer. And then it's just 3 plus 4. And that's all there is to that one.